Be quiet. Big secret. Shh. This is no smoking. Got to anyway. I had to redo it, you see, because I got some of my facts wrong. I had to recheck them. I got my calculator out. I had to recheck it. So. Anyway, let's go over. Oh! By the 1940s, over half the population of Great Britain over the age of 16 smoked cigarettes. Some children were much younger than 16 when they started smoking. Although the legal age to smoke was 16, kids could always buy cigarettes through vending machines on street corners and railway stations at the time. I think I need my glasses. Oh dear. Hang on. No. Also, I have been told I'm only 50 years old. I don't know everything about history. Cancer was first discovered by Hippocrates, 460 BC to 370 BC in ancient Greece. He described several different types of cancer. Karkinos, the Greek word for crab, also known as carcinoma, describing and drawing pictures of visible tumours to the skin, nose and breasts. It was against Greek tradition to cut open a body. The first operations to remove internal tumours did not occur until the mid to late 19th century. In the year 1950, there were only 18,318 deaths from cancer in the UK. The population of the United Kingdom of Great Britain was approximately 50 million people. Around about 25 million smokers, if my mathematics is correct. 50% of 50 equals 25. The first electric cigarette was invented in the USA by Herbert A. Gilbert in 1963, but the idea proved unpopular to the general public and production was halted. That's recording. 1965 saw the banning of cigarette advertisements on television. Cigar and rolling tobacco advertisements were not illegal until 1991, soon after the final Hamlet cigar TV commercial. In the early 1970s, cigarettes government health warnings were first introduced, printed on one side of every packet of cigarettes and tobacco. In 1972, the average price for a packet of 20 cigarettes was approximately 25 pence. Although, to be fair, the average living wage was only £32. By 1974, 45% of Britons still smoked cigarettes, 52% of men, and 41% of women. Approximately 23 million residents of the United Kingdom. In 1975, there were approximately 111,000 deaths from cancer in Britain. Although there were only 5% less smokers since 1950, about 23,750,000, there were over 500% more people dying from cancer. So there were over 500% more people dying from cancer. I got my facts right this version. But, yes, I did. It was still socially acceptable for patients and staff, including cleaners, porters, ambulance drivers, nurses and doctors, to smoke in hospital wards, waiting rooms, ambulances, doctors' surgeries and even operating theatres in the year 1976. Many hospital patients even kept ashtrays on their bedside cabinets in case they wanted to smoke in bed. In 1977, the government introduced new legislation limiting smoking in hospitals to the waiting rooms. In 1978, the average price for a packet of 20 cigarettes was approximately 55 pence, and by the year 1980, cigarette prices had risen to an astounding 70 pence for a packet of 20. Large health warnings were introduced in 1981. Cigarettes seriously damages your health, printed in big black letters on a white background on the side of every packet of tobacco and cigarettes. By the way, in the United States of America, which is in fact a rather larger continent than Britain, cancer deaths have risen from 200,000 in 1950 to 600,000 in the year 2010. Yet only 15% of the population still smoke tobacco. Approximately 36.5 million people. How good is your mathematics? Mind you, when you consider the population of the USA, that really is not that many deaths. In the 1950s, over 45% of the population smoked cigarettes, a decline in smoking of 66%, but a rise in cancer of 200%. By 1982, the proportion of non-smoking cancer patients who had never smoked a fag was 43% in the United Kingdom. Yes, I'm reading from a script. Source: the National Health Service Information Centre. 44% of people in the UK still smoked cigarettes, and many smokers were quitting their filthy habit. In 1986, cigarette advertisements were banned from cinemas in the UK. After the big fire inside King's Cross Tube Station in 1987, tobacco advertisements and smoking on underground trains became illegal. The fire was claimed to have been started by somebody's cigarette butt. But as every smoker already knows, a cigarette usually goes out within a minute or two. And isn't King's Cross Station made out of concrete? How could one single cigarette butt start a fire on a piece of cement? The fire was probably caused by an electrical fault, more likely than a cigarette, don't you think? Which thousands of people would have trampled over within a second or two. Don't you think? Hold on a second. Got a water joint.